Well, it's 53 degrees. Feeling a little better today. I need to do another soak. It's supposed to get up into the 80s today. Or at least 80. Hopefully there won't be any wind. I literally could not even put those things over that. I had to just fling that on there. Don't see any tracks. That's good. I did chop up some pumpkin vines so I could see what's in there, and I did take the big pumpkin. My green one's right there. Serenity's convinced it's a watermelon. I keep trying to tell her it's a pumpkin, but she's just like, today was her first day back at school. Landon's 14, Landon's almost 15, Ryder's 13, and Trinity's 8, almost 9, and the only one that was happy about going to school today was Ryder. And the only, he, doesn't really know. I mean, we tell him, but we don't know how much he comprehends. But he was super, super excited when he saw the kids up, and he's like, what's going on? And then he kept wanting to go, to his room to get dressed, because they got up super early. And, way too early to get Ryder ready. We can't get Ryder ready until, a certain time, because he can't, he can't wait. We have to do things in order with him. It has to be a certain way for him to, so he knew when we started getting him ready that he was going to be going to school. But anyway, he was really, really excited. So hopefully he'll have a good day at school, and we won't have to, one of us won't have to go get him. Oh, there's the other plastic thing I have to take off. Oh, I'm really hungry this morning. I'm going to have to go squeeze my orange juice. And I was thinking about if I'm feeling up to it today, of harvesting some of my sunflowers and just, doing a video where I'm chatting with you and harvesting the sunflowers. Not very many. I'm not going to do a lot. Just a few. I'm just cautious about my back because I've had 9 surgeries since, I was hit by the semi-truck. And one time I wasn't cautious and went with it, and my back went out, and I was at home, and I went and laid down for a few hours, fell asleep, but I guess I got really hot, and so I got up and I opened my front door, and I remember the cool air hitting me in the face. I remember that. But I guess I fainted or whatever. And it was 5 o'clock in the morning. My daughter was 13 years old. And she said that the house got really cold. And she woke up and she noticed that she could hear this thump, thump, thump. And she came out into the living room, and she said I was laying face down in a massive pool of blood between the half in the living room, half outside, and the door from the wind was like hitting my body. And then she freaked out, went to go get her phone to call for help, and when she came back, she said I wasn't there. The big pool of blood was there, but she didn't realize I had crawled out into the grass. And then, I guess, anyway, by the time they figured it out and found me or whatever, I had crawled from the grass into the passenger side of my car. And I tried to wrap my arms around the steering wheel to lay on the horn. I don't know. I woke up in the hospital. I had broke my jaw, and it was just awful. So that was 18 months of recovery with an extra added 2 surgeries for nothing, for not being cautious. So I'm very, very cautious when it comes to my back. Look at how much that one is bloomed out. I'm just super cautious when it comes to not being careful with my back. And my back's gone out a few times, but that time, and it's gone out like a couple times since then. But whenever I feel anything, or if I feel like a little off or sore or anything, I'm extra careful. Because it's terrifying. When I woke up in the hospital and broke my jaw, I couldn't communicate. It was just a terrible, terrible, terrible time. And I never, ever, ever want to go through that again. So I am extremely cautious. Especially if I don't have any strength, because that's what happened to me the other time. So I just try to, every day I do stretches. I get up and I do stretches before I even get out of bed. I lay there in bed doing stretches. I think that's too far. I think I need to bring it back. So I need to get a new sprinkler. I saw a sprinkler at the yard sale, but they wanted $25 for it. And it was a fancy one. I mean, it was really old, but it was really fancy. It had these big, huge wheels. It looked like a miniature tractor. I wanted it because it looked like a little tractor, and it would be so cute. It was really old looking, but which is why I really liked it. It was looked like just old rustic tractor, but it was a sprinkler. I asked the lady, I'm like, what is that? She says, that's a sprinkler. I'm like, for a yard? And she's like, yeah. But they wanted $25. And I can get a brand new sprinkler that's not cute and fancy like that for $25. That's metal. I have one. And I even double checked when I went in for supplies the other day. I double checked and looked at the sprinkler, and the exact same one. This one's my mom's. I just use it. I'm just going to use it until it breaks, or until I can't fix it no more. See, I have that sprinkler, and that it was $25 at Weimar, and it's metal. It's purple though, not my favorite color, but I mean, it's a good sprinkler. It does have plastic on it, and I do put it away for the winter, but if I, you know, if I was going to buy something used or whatever, I don't want to pay the same price for a brand new one, even if I don't get to have the fancy whatever, the tractor looking thing. I wouldn't say it was like fancy because it wasn't shiny and new, but it was cool and old and rustic, and it would have looked fantastic with just my, you know, motif. I do this for about, I don't know, 30, 60 seconds, whatever, or until I see like a lot of water. I cut a lot of leaves out of this too, because you can't see my Swiss chard very good. I've been cutting my Swiss chard regularly. It's just, it's like, I wasn't planning on growing Swiss chard this year, but that one's from last year, and it just came back, so I let it grow. Just because it came back all by itself. It's getting pretty late, like, it's been dropping down into the 40s at night. Like, it's going to be 42 tonight. I might have to start covering stuff, which is a lot of work for me, because I have to whine and, like, be like, come on, Trevor, just help me. Every day. Like, after the first couple days or whatever, then they're not as excited about doing it. They do all the work in the spring, and then they pretty much take summer off, except for if I need something moved, or because sometimes I move those barrels around. It just really depends on I really want to transplant this lavender, but darn it, I might just leave it in the bucket again this winter and then plant it, transplant. I want it right here. I don't know what I was doing with this. When I pull this out, I'm going to rake out what I can, and then try to remember to not plant anything in there in the spring. I get super excited in the spring, and I just want to plant everything. I just want everything. I want to try everything, even stuff that I've never grown before. See that right there, right here? That's celery. Can you believe that? I planted that like back in March, but it was next to those carrots, those big carrots that I had that I was seeding out to get the seeds for. So you couldn't really see it in there. I don't think it got enough sun. I don't know. I'm going to look it up and see what I can do. Either leave it alone and hope that it comes back next year, because I really love celery. And I've tried growing it a couple times, and I've never gotten nothing. This is the first time that it's popped up. And I even tried growing it from the stalk. See, I tried a bunch of different stuff that these YouTubers are like, oh, do this. I did the toilet paper roll thingy, the paper towel roll thingy. Everything that they've suggested has been a complete dud. Like, their little tricks and whatever. I mean, and I still try to have an open mind. And like the wasp thing with the Dawn dish soap and stuff, Yeah, it stops them flying, but it doesn't kill them. So what ends up happening is you end up having a bunch of upset yellow jackets or hornets and stuff like that. I did do the gasoline trick, and that did work. But here's the thing, and that my son pointed out. Okay, now you have a container with gasoline with a bunch of dead wasps in it. How do you dispose of that? You dump it on the ground? Like what? Like it's, thank goodness I used like a little tiny cup, and then I diluted it with water after everything was over, and thank goodness I only used an inch in a cup because it was a very small hive. But I did test it out and it did work. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. B. Excuse me. I did test it out and it did work, but for some of the areas like way up there in that crest, it just wasn't feasible to do that. And this wasp thingy is finally catching a few wasps here and there. And I killed like 6 more nests yesterday with that spray stuff. It's just like the spray I bought at Ace Hardware. It's like 2 for $7. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah. Because the first can I bought was $8.99 at the end of last month. And then I got 2 for $7, and the other can did last a little longer than these 2 cans, or than I only used 1 of the 2 cans that I bought, but it was way more effective. It was instantaneously. It not only killed the bugs or the wasp, but it like foamed up all over the nest. So that stuff worked. It was just that Ace Hardware. It was an Ace Hardware brand. And we have some nests out front in one of the car, in 2 of the one of the trucks, and my mom's car, which I gotta get rid of because it's not being driven, and it's just another added thing that I can't afford. Plus, it's expensive to fix that car. Hers is an Infinity, and it's just expensive to fix it. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of sinking money into it. It's an older car, too. She just really liked it, and I just wasn't prepared to get rid of it at that moment. So, and it's been 5 years. Like, it's not my favorite car to drive. I don't really care for driving it. And I just was hoping that my sister would come back from Indiana, and then she'd be like, oh, I want it. And I'd be like, okay, take it. That was my dream scenario, but I don't think my sister wants the car. So that's that. Oh shoot, this is 19 minutes. Oh, it took me forever to upload it. All right, I have to say goodbye, you guys. Maybe I'll be able to do another video. All right, I gotta put this down. This one hand thing. All right, goodbye.